What is going on, guys? So I was way too pumped to start sanding on this car after I got it all tore apart, and basically I didn't film an intro or anything of it before it was completely done, and now it is. So I did film a bunch of time lapse and stuff as I was doing it, so that's cool. And then kind of in between me explaining what I found and what I'm gonna do about it and stuff like that. So pretty pumped, came out really good. But yeah, I guess watch this, and then at the end I'll probably explain a little bit about what I'm gonna do. Oh, probably just saw it, but at the end I'm gonna explain basically what I'm gonna do from this point, and then go from there. I'm trying to get a, I don't know, like a cool time lapse or whatever, but I don't have a tripod, so this is currently what we're working with. So if it falls mid-shot, just know that that's why. So we got it about halfway sanded. It's going pretty well. I'm using 60 grit, not too aggressive like 40, and it won't take as long as 80. And I'll just go back over there just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. But the problem I'm having is like, it's so wobbly. I don't know, super loose inside. I'm gonna have to like seam seal the inner structure to the outer to keep it from doing that. But for right now, when I'm trying to sand it, it's just like pushing it in. So this is gonna take definitely long. This is definitely the biggest panel on the car. This is taking me about like 2 hours so far, which, whatever, it's not terrible. Like I said, one of the biggest panels. I guess the hood might be bigger, but yeah. For the most part though, it's going pretty well. So I'll get this thing, get the trunk finished up, then go onto the roof. Shouldn't take as long. It's not near as, like, I don't know, wobbly. It's like a tin can. It's like the best way to describe it. It's just kind of moves all over the place. So it's super hard to push on it. You can see like when I did this, it went like super quick because you really push on it. So whereas this, you want to kind of go slow. So take like one layer off, like get the clear all off, then get the blue off, then start taking down the primer. Just so you're not creating too much heat, because a big panel like that will warp very easily, and then you'll have to do a ton of body work. And I don't really want to do that. So I'm just taking my time, taking one layer off at a time. And yeah, hopefully we'll get it done today. Shouldn't be too bad. Keep going. I can't remember if I explained it all or if I did a good job of explaining, but I'm basically stripping the entire car just because like the clear was peeling off, and then somebody sprayed something, you see like here. So obviously it has to come off because there was an issue with the factory paint, so it was lifting. So you don't really want to put anything on top of that. And even though it was just in the trunk and like the roof area, and then this back glass piece as well, you can see we're starting to do that, and then where it's completely gone. That's no good. You can't just sand that smooth and then go over top of whatever's left, because you don't really know. I mean, you could technically, but I plan on keeping this car for, well, forever. Everyone says that though, but I really plan on keeping this car for a long time. I want to make it super nice. So I'm gonna strip the entire car. You can see I got the edge when I was sanding the trunk, but it doesn't matter because it's gonna get stripped too. Also, the hood has been painted, and I don't know if you can pick it up on the video, but there's been some repairs done. So I also want to get the paint off the car just to see what's underneath it, because you never really know what someone else did, especially a car coming from Japan. There's been a lot of horror stories about what people have uncovered underneath paint and Bondo and stuff like that. So, not that Bondo's a bad thing or secondhand paint's a bad thing. That's what I'm gonna be doing right here. But it just depends on what techniques you use and how well you do it, and that's pretty much it. Just to double check and make sure I'm not wasting my time. So we're gonna strip the whole car down and then epoxy prime the whole thing, and then we'll sand that, and then whatever dings, dents. I know there's a big dent in this door. See there, pretty nasty one, but that's okay. That's pretty much the worst damage on the whole car, really. Obviously, I'll like bang that out when it's in bare metal and work it as good as I can before I go to prime it, because there's no point priming it and then bang on it with a hammer. It's just gonna crack. So I'm gonna do all the metal work. Like, I'm gonna weld this up because I'm filling that in, and there's one little spot of rust right here. It's the only rust on the car, so I'm gonna cut that out, make a little piece for that. I just thought that I would just kind of talk about why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, and then, I don't know, some people don't know, so. This is so cool because there's no anything in this. It's never been painted. This is all just the original paint, one layer of paint, so it came off really easy. That's so good. Not even a little crease, nothing. So the only thing I'm gonna have to fix is basically where I messed it up when I rolled the fenders. You can see a little bit of the ding there. So I'm just gonna hammer and dolly this whole lip all the way around, because I just used like a phone book, I'm pretty sure, and like a socket. But this is so cool. We're gonna call it for the day, probably clean up, because I cannot stand how messy this is in here. It's everywhere. But yeah, I'm gonna clean up, and yeah, I'll go to the door tomorrow. doors done now. I'm gonna leave this bottom part till I get the car jacked up, just because it's too hard to bend over and get down there. So once I get the car like up to here, it'll just be like doing the main door. And then I just left this. So I'm gonna go back. I have to use a little like die grinder in there. And so I just left that so I don't forget about it. I gotta go onto the fender now. This should take like no time at all. Side came out really good. Got no surprises or anything. We knew about this, so I just left that. So to obviously do some work there, but other than that, it looks really good, which is awesome. And then, like I said, I'm just gonna go over the whole car again with a lighter grit, probably like 80 or 100 or something like that. So we'll get kind of like these dark spots, and then get the hard like sand scratches, get them a little bit finer before I put some primer on it, because you don't want to just bury it because it'll come back through. So you got to kind of work your way down. Now I'm just going to do the hood, and I'm not sure what we're going to get into because you can kind of see, maybe you can't on the camera, kind of see little ghosts. And it's hard to tell because it's so dusty too, but anyways, hopefully I don't find anything crazy in there. Yeah, we'll give that a shot. Back up on my tripod here. Well, I was doing a time lapse, but I just checked and it's completely gone off the GoPro, so I have no idea what happened. Also, I uncovered this, which is exactly why I'm planning to strip this whole car, because you never know. I mean, I did know there has been some repairs done on the hood, but yeah, so this is basically looks like some body filler and then even some fiberglass, like Dynaglass, so that might be thick. Might not be a huge deal, but I'd rather strip it out right now and know that there's just a little bit of crinkled metal under there, because say if this was dented in and they used a stud puller or whatever and they ripped some holes in the hood because it's just thin sheet metal, they might have just covered those with fiberglass instead of welding them. And obviously that is something that I would like to correct, because that's not the right way to do it. So basically that's why I've been stripping this whole car, just in case of anything like this. And yeah, we'll see what the rest of the hood has, and we'll see what's under that fiberglass. I'm really curious now. So okay, so that was actually pretty good. There's just a little bit of a ding there, and I don't know why he had it so thick on the edge. I know the hood is a little bit low. I have to just do some adjusting on that, but that's good though. There's no crazy things going on, no holes. or giant dents that they filled. Actually, it feels really good still. So I'm not sure why they had so much on there. Maybe just to kind of make up for that. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with the rest of it. So that is pretty much it. The time lapse cut out the last little bit of the hood, but whatever, you get the point. It's sanity. Yeah, no real big surprises. Super pumped that the hood wasn't a mess. I'm not exactly sure why up here there was a bunch of basically like bullseyes, like paint sunk into it, but I don't know. So that's cool. Didn't really find anything crazy. I guess the next step is gonna be getting these side skirts off. Getting the back bumper off, diffuser off. Then I can start doing the metal work, stuff like that. Because the other side where I have to patch it, it's very close to the bumper, so I don't really want to melt the bumper, obviously. Now I'm going to be jacking the car up, and I'll probably like set it up on blocks. That way the suspension is on, well, the suspension is loaded, like the car's on suspension, not on jack stands. That's pretty much the best way to do like body work, anything like that. So the gaps and everything stay how they're going to be, and yeah, it's just, I'd rather have it sitting on its own weight. I just gotta go around, do like all these edges. So once I get the bumper off, and in here, hand sand all this stuff, get it all prepped, get these windows pulled. I have to see about that. And then I can basically tape it all up, cover all the walls of plastic and everything, and then hopefully get some epoxy prime on this thing. I might start working on the front bumper, but I'm not entirely sure. So, because I want to change it a bunch. I don't like that giant hole, kind of like the canard thing. Hopefully I can be able to change that up. I like the shape overall, but or that'll be another video. Who knows when. I guess just stay tuned. If you're enjoying it, keep watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you feel like you would like to do that, don't get pumped about it. I'm pretty pumped. I've been wanting to do this for so long, and it's finally happening, so I'm super excited about it. It's gonna be a huge transformation, so I'm super excited. I don't know if that comes across.